Hi. Good morning and welcome to the BOCC meeting for October 25th. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, gentlemen, the first thing we have on our agenda today are our minutes. Do we have any additional corrections?
No.
Or-
I don't.
Okay,
I move to approve the proceedings of the Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County for October 18th, 2022 as presented.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County, October 18th, 2022. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next up is planning. It looks like we have a bunch of pens to
Yeah, we just have a couple
work.
plats for signature. The third one, they have not gotten all their signatures on it yet, so item 3 won't be presented or signed.
Okay,
The other two, the first one was approved back in the spring, and it's just taken them, or no, that'd be the second one. Oakley's, that one was just approved a couple months ago. They got their surveying work done. The Shaner Logon Vogt one was approved last spring, but it just took them a while to get survey done and everything, so they've both been approved. We just need them signed off.
okay.
It'll catch up. It won't be long, I'll tell you. It's crazy how time passes. When I was thinking about it, it's
Okay.
All right. Well, that was pleasant.
Short and sweet.
Yes. I like it.
unless you got something else.
No, I responded to an email either late last night or early this morning. I don't know when it was.
I saw that
It
one.
was at 11:30 last night, I know, because I got it.
Guys,
It's sad
Sometimes-
that I was still awake at that hour.
sometimes you just, when you wake up, you just start going back to work, and it's crazy, but that's
You're-
kind of what you do.
The old brain turns on, and
Yep.
there's no hope then.
So that's why some of those emails are flying at late or early in the morning.
It's very sad that I'm still awake at that hour.
It is, it is. But, anyway, I don't have anything else, gentlemen.
So, yeah, we've got that one, and if you wanna do something on, Road 25.
I think, we picked the high three priorities last week, and then Ian will get with you guys to follow
Okay.
up with those letters as far as what we need to do with the attorney, and then we'll continue.
All right, works for us.
We'll continue, and we'll check those off and move on.
Yep.
All right, great, thank you.
Okay. All right. Next on our agenda is a public comment session. The Board of County Commissioners welcomes you to this meeting. Person speaking during the public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all members of the public the opportunity to address the board. When addressing the board, please state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments. And comments to individual supervisors or staff are not permitted. Participants may not yield their time. And with that, the public comment session is open. It looks like we've drawn a great crowd today, so I will
Yeah.
close
You got
the
anything to
public.
say, Dexter?
Good morning. That's actually a good sign. It's either good or bad. I'm not sure which way we're looking at it today, but we'll close the public comment session and we're gonna move right along. First up, we have our public service. Gina, I don't see in here. And Sarah was not coming today, is that correct? Or,
No, she's scheduled to come. It was Moko that's not coming.
Okay. Yeah. So no MoCo.
okay. Well, since I don't see either one of them in the room, we are going to blast right through this agenda today. But we will jump back up to and get to them. So, we'll jump to unfinished business, our detention center, cooler and freezer bids. We have Dustin and our sheriff, Steve Nallon, looking at those, and they'll bring those back to us at next Monday's workshop. So we're gonna push that down the road to next week. So with that, we're gonna talk about our generator grant approval with Mr. Spratlin.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Miss Kim. Ian. Travis. Something falling apart. So, earlier this year, you guys, we went over our generators. We were going to apply for, I think, all 5 generators at one point through the FEMA grant. And it was a 75-25. We pay 25%. They pay 75. That's when we found a good deal on the generator, put it in, and it's up and running. So we were allowed to reopen this grant with FEMA, and it's based upon our hazard mitigation plan. And one of the mitigations that we have on our plan is to put generators in our main county buildings for the continuity of operations. So they allowed me to get in on this grant. They even extended it, which it's past November 1st, so we got plenty of time. I've got all the paperwork in. This is just kind of an unfinished business of getting the approval with the commissioners again. This time it's a 90-10. So we're only liable for the $16,236.80. That'll be over a 2-year plan. Looks like we're going to try to put, if we can get the generators, which would be nice, we might move ahead with all 4 next year. They're not kind of holding us to the fire, only 2 each year. So our plan is to do the 2 next year in 2023 and the other 2 in 2024. And this grant will pretty much pay for all of it. Excuse me. Our in-kind labor is a little over 8,000, so I guess cash-wise, we only have to come up with about 8,000 plus or minus for the 162,000. That's already in our capital, 162, because we'll pay it and then get reimbursed quarterly. And Phaedra's already got that in there, so just looking for an approval and a signature by the chair. Any questions?
My only question is the sizing. So the 25 kW for the coroner's office, the 60 kW for the annex, these have already been sized
Yep.
appropriately. Is this running every circuit, or are these just running emergency circuits?
I believe it'll be every circuit.
Wow, okay.
Yep.
And then the 80 kW for the fairgrounds, that's just the main building?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Jim, on the switch cost, the cost for the switches, how come the one at Annex 3 is so much more than the rest of them?
You know, I knew you were going to ask me that, and I don't have an answer to that. We had our electrician look at all these,
Okay.
and his decision was, I think it had to do with the 3-phase that we were going to put in. I know we have a spare switch that we purchased amongst that other equipment that we have. I'm not sure if that can actually plug into that. I don't think it was a 3-phase. So I don't have an answer for that. I think Dustin might have the answer to that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No,
I don't.
I would so move that we sign the grant application commitment letter for Montezuma County Co-op Generator Project in the amount of $162,368, which our match will be $16,237.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept and sign the local share commitment letter for Montezuma County Co-op Generator Project in the amount of $162,368. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Do you need them both signed?
Yes, please. Wonderful. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Spratling. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right.
I'm good.
Okay.
I could tell you some stories, but I'm good.
All right. Okay, I don't see the sheriff in here either.
He
Do you
was
have
here.
any- Oh,
He's with paper.
He can't have any more money.
That's my bad. I looked at the agenda, I thought it was at the bottom.
you are at the bottom.
Now, right to the top, wow, pretty good, sorry.
We're here to work, not to just talk and mess around. We're here to get things done.
I was working. Sorry.
Okay, let's hear a little bit more on this discussion as it relates to the Southern Health Partners proposal.
So you want to jump in? You want me to go first, Sheriff? Or?
Go first.
Yeah.
Because I presented that to you and I'm just waiting to hear
Yep.
what
So
your decision is.
I got into this contract last week. It's a complex contract because the sheriff has a statutory duty to provide for the health of prisoners in the jails. And we're delegating that duty now to an extent to Southern Health Partners. In doing that, it's really important that we seal up our side of it. So, I mean, the bottom line is if something happens there, more than likely, the sheriff's office is gonna get sued. They're not just gonna sue Southern Health Partners, they're gonna name us as an entity too. There's probably some language in that contract that needs some tweaking. And I got the Word copy, the Word document last Friday from them. I probably need another week to really hone in on that because it's a lengthy contract and there's some nuance to it that I need some time. I mean, we're gonna need to really hone in, and I've been working on that, but that's where we're at on my end.
Have you been in contact with
I have.
their corporate office?
I have, yep.
Okay.
So I was in contact with them last Friday,
Good.
and, yeah, so.
Well,
So,
it's back in your court then.
so a week or 2 weeks, Ian, what do you, by the time you go back and forth?
You know, I think the back and forth is what's gonna take the time, and, you know, I'd also like the counsel for the sheriff's office to review this too, once we get final language, so I think Sheriff, is 2 weeks gonna mess you up?
No, I mean, this
Let's-
doesn't start until.
Yeah.
First,
I know the contract
First of
talks
the
about
year.
implementation and doing some of the pregame work as soon as the contract's signed. So certainly, I understand that the quicker we can get it done, but this is,
We're already working on it,
yeah,
so, yeah.
this is complicated stuff.
It is.
And it's
We need to
not,
make sure it's
it's not
right.
something as simple as just checking a few boxes. And
Right.
so, 2 weeks would be great, if we can swing it.
It's fine with me if it's okay with you.
yeah,
You bet.
no, we need to make sure that
We want
it's,
to get it right.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
in any
right.
rush. I
So-
mean, we're still working, we're still putting policies and procedures together and training lined up, so.
Yeah, there's a lot to this. It's not just cut and dry.
so 11/8?
So we're gonna have to do it on the 15th, because we're not doing BOCC on the 8th because Election Day?
Oh, that's fine. 15th, it's 3 weeks then.
Is that all right?
November 15th,
Yep,
Is that all right?
that's fine with me. You bet.
okay.
Okay.
That just gives you
Yeah.
a little bit more time.
I think the back and forth is gonna take a little bit of time. I mean, even just getting the contract in Word form that I was actually able to edit took a little bit of time, just going back and forth with their corporate office, so.
Yep. Well, good, and I'm glad that you're communicating with them because that's at your level and not at mine. So, okay. I'll let the attorneys talk to each other, that's fine. Okay, good,
Very good.
sounds good. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, Sheriff. Okay,
Yeah.
See
hang
you.
on to that, so.
And now that I see Gina in the house, come on down.
There we go, there she is right there.
Well, you're gonna win a prize.
Oh, I bet.
Thank you.
We took care of these.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would so move that we accept the record of proceedings for the regular session of the Board of Social Services for September 27th, 2022, and also the financials as presented for September of 2022 in the amount of $1,689,827. It's down a little bit.
Yeah, it sure is.
Good for you.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the record of proceedings for the Social Services Department for September 27, 2022, and along with the payables for September 2022 in the amount of $1,689,827. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And I would expect that it'll go up during the winter months for LEAP, Low-Income Energy Assistance Program. So you're going to see it fluctuate
Okay.
during the winter months.
right now Empire Electric is not projecting a rate increase for this coming year. So
Okay.
I know Atmos is different. Their increase is about 25%.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No, we only have one position that we're trying to refill, and that's the Case 8 position with Child Protection Services. But we have 2 new child support staff that came on board this week, so I'm happy about that.
Very good, so we're only down 1 now.
Just one.
Okay, any other questions?
I don't have any.
Lori? Okay,
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
all right, thank you, Gina. Sarah, I see her in the back now with Veteran Services, so Sarah, if you want to come down, we'll... Good morning.
So for telephone calls, we had 352, 103 office visits. There was 325 that came through for the stand down. That's broken down later in the report. We had 2 outreach events. One was the stand down. The other was for Medicine Horse over in Mancos, trying to do some alternative therapy options. So Katie Maxwell and I went over and met with Medicine Horse to see about doing a pilot veterans program. So we're diligently working on that to get that started for any veteran who needs mental health and doesn't want to do like traditional counseling. So that is 780 total served for September.
You've been busy.
Very. October is even more impressive. So
That's good.
our financial report, $5,276.60 in salaries, $2393.66 in fringe. Operating expense was $107.04, and $80 for the telephones, $78.57.30 for the entire month. Then looking at the office activities, for comparison, 2021 was 107 through the office, 103 for September of 2022. That was a decrease of 5. Total clients assisted was 780. There was 174 veterans and 151 family members. This is spouses, children, grandparents, parents, widows, surviving spouses. So,
2 commissioners.
and 2 commissioners. New clients for September was 11, bringing year-to-date to 72 new clients. 2 outreach events, and we filed 7 claims in September. Keep in mind the claims are only what our disability, pension, anything that we report to the VA. We do all kinds of other claims like travel and things that aren't necessarily actual compensation claims. So, but those numbers, we're going to start reporting more of those numbers. So you'll see this number actually increase in the coming months as we report more what they consider claims, like travel claims and VA healthcare type related information as well. So highlights was the indirect income to the county. We had 18 decisions 16 were favorable, 2 were unfavorable. Actually, 1 was unfavorable, 1 was reduced. That equated to $18,082.68 in new payments, leaving an annual total monthly, or annual total for all of those, $2,016,992.16. Retro payments for the month of September is $44,624.71. So that's the extent of that. Events coming up, we have the Veterans Day Parade on the 11th. The Women's Veteran Group is in full swing. They have a fundraiser coming up. What day? November 5th. They have like a fundraiser, the Women's Veteran Group, they're setting up tables at City Market and Walmart for canned goods and just donations to help towards food pantry and towards our local veterans. I think they're between 16 to 18 members right now. So they're moving along pretty nicely. So the Veterans Day Parade is November 11th. They're having American Legion breakfast as usual. The Dolores program is going to happen November 16th due to scheduling conflicts. Mancos on November 11th is having a breakfast. Sorry, November 10th, the day before, is having a breakfast at the Mancos School's cafeteria. And I've been putting stuff on our Facebook page as I see it. So.
I think the Elks Lodge was doing lunch,
Yes, Elks Lodge is.
and the Legion was doing, were they doing,
Breakfast.
they were doing breakfast, but did I see something about lunch or dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, quite a few events happening that day.
You
So,
bet.
And then the 10th is in Mancos?
yes.
10th.
And of course, we have the 2 dentists, Dr. Pack and Dr. Arter. They do free dental care for veterans on Veterans Day. So, and sometimes they'll work with the veterans throughout the year as well on a long-term plan. So it's been pretty awesome to have that, because dental's not available for
Right.
all veterans. So having them available to help them at no charge and very low cost has been awesome. So. Any questions?
Mm-mm. It'll be
Doing a good job, thank
be a
you.
busy Friday, the 11th.
Yes.
Very busy.
We'll all be in our special uniforms somewhere doing something. So, you guys have a great week.
You
Okay.
bet, thank you.
Sarah. Okay, we're down to Rick Spencer with the Fire Chiefs Association.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
As I kind of mentioned last week during the report for the fire department, the Montezuma County Fire Chiefs Association is going to be hosting a auto extrication class. I've been in contact with Justin out at the fairgrounds. We would like to host the class out there due to the size of the fairgrounds parking lot and the ability for us to host this such a big training. So it's March 11th and 12th of next year of 2023. It's a Saturday and Sunday. I'm here to ask if there's any kind of fees or anything that the fairgrounds charges or that you all charge to rent the fairgrounds, if it'd be possible to have those fees waived. The Fire Chiefs Association is already spending a pretty big chunk of money on having Star Fire Training come in to do this class for us, so anything that we can do to help save some cost on our end would be appreciated.
Are you guys just using the west parking lot, basically where the carnival exists?
That'll be-
Is that kind of where you're planning it?
That'll be Sunday for the hands-on portion.
Mhm.
We'd like to do the classroom portion on Saturday in the archery room, I believe is what Justin called it. So in the main building, just so we can have everything there. And the reason why I was looking at the fairgrounds is just as centralized of a location as we could get for the other fire districts. All 5 fire districts, and then including Rico in Dolores County, are going to send students to this class. So having it centralized for Lewis, Dolores, Cortez, and Mancos at the fairgrounds, in case somebody gets something that they have to go to.
What is that? I wish Justin was here. What is that fee? I mean, the outside parking lot is basically nothing. It's,
I
you
think
guys are
he
just gonna
said
occupy it.
$25 an hour, I believe is what he mentioned.
I can't remember what that fee was.
I think it is 25 an hour, but I'm not sure that there was a fee for use
There's-
of the external.
There's not a fee for the parking lot. I don't
I don't think so.
think we have a fee for that, and that's just kind of a big,
Flat
I
spot.
mean, it's just a big flat spot for what you're trying to do as a,
Yeah, so it'll be 2 buses, we're gonna cut 2 buses apart, and then we're getting anywhere from 10 to 15 cars for 4 pits and 30 to 35 students. So the west parking lot's perfect for having enough open space to be able to do that.
you guys will clean up all your glass? All
Yes.
I know how firefighters are.
Yes,
I know the first thing they do, every window will be broken out.
Oh,
which
yeah,
I get that, but,
yeah.
We'll give Gerald a punch, he can go out there and take care of it.
There you go.
so, the classroom in the main facility on the 11th and the outdoor parking lot on the 12th.
On the 12th, correct.
So you're talking $200 for the day?
I would so move we waive the fees for the Montezuma County Fire Chiefs Association to use the fairgrounds for the 11th and 12th March 2023.
I'll second that, but do we have any idea if there's any other activities going on? that
Well,
weekend?
he's already.
There's
Sure.
not. Justin, when I talked to Justin, he penciled us in and he didn't have anything
Okay.
on either
Because
one
we're
of
getting
those
close
days.
to Ag
We're-
Expo with that.
I think that's like towards the end of March, so right,
Yeah.
or middle of March?
Yeah. I
Typically.
bet it's the next week. What do you want to
It could be.
So then we definitely need to make sure we clean all the glass up.
bet? Yeah.
We will.
No, that's fine.
Okay, that's why
Nothing
it's,
else going on, that's fine.
Perfect.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to waive the fees for the Fire Chiefs Association at the fairgrounds for the use of the parking lot and the archery room for March 11th and 12th, 2023. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, there you go, sir.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You bet.
We'll see you out there on the 11th and 12th. Probably the 12th,
Come out and watch,
not the 11th.
Yeah, the 11th will be boring, the
Yeah.
12th is when it'll be fun.
What's this watching stuff?
Okay, or yeah, grab it, cool.
Okay, now we have a lot of discussion because we have a lot of board appointments that we need to look at and discuss and kind of move through these. As we look through these, it looks like the Areola Cemetery is good for right now. We have 3 for the Cortez Cemetery. I know one's not even in the community anymore. On the Cortez Cemetery, so I think we put these out for advertisement last time, right, Ian? Or,
I don't know that we put the cemetery ones out for advertisement. I didn't.
do you remember? I think we did, didn't we?
I think they they do put them out for advertisement, but on the Cortez Cemetery, she said she'd send me an email, give me an updated list, and I never received that. So I should have more up-to-date information when she has the time to send it to me.
Okay. The Dolores Cemetery, we have 2 that are expired. One this year, one of last year. Mancos Cemetery of 1. And then the Montezuma County Fair Board, I think we had 2 or 3 applications, right, for the Fair Board. Alan Higgins is still there, T.W. Gilland is still there, Kelly Comiskey is no longer there. Aaron Gordonier, I believe, is no longer there, correct?
There again, I was supposed to get an updated list from Emily, but she just hasn't had a chance to do that.
Okay.
Mary Bramwell is now there, I know that, because she was at the last one. So I think they have 1 or 2 vacancies, correct? Is when they send in those, we received about a month ago, a couple of applications for the Fair Board.
Yeah.
I have only received the one, and that was from Jessica, unless somebody else has some more.
I know we got them, and I don't know if those came from you, Kim, but one was, so do you have Jessica's? Can you pull that one up? One was a Tammy Hampton, I remember. I think I'm pretty sure they have 2 vacant positions. We can do this today, gentlemen, or we can find out absolutely for sure and do it next week also.
Yeah, let's find out for sure.
Okay. I'm pretty sure they said that they had 2 vacant positions, and that's why we got those applications. But I'll find that and I'll send it to you also, Travis.
Okay.
And I know that went to all of us, because we had that application. Our planning commission is full, and we actually still have 1 alternate on the list that we had made when we interviewed for Mr. Hernandez that we put together. Our lodgers tax committee, Kim, do you know how to reach out to Lee or Brian to get an updated list? Because I don't know if that's 100% either.
I can find a way, yeah, but, the 2 that I could verify are the ones that are not highlighted.
Right.
Yeah.
But it seemed to me like Mr. Vasterling has been one of the gentlemen that's coming to report to you.
Right.
So I didn't know if he was on the board or, but I can see what I can do.
I want to say Kirk Swope was appointed from Dolores, because when we had that debacle 3 years ago, when there was no funding and
Right.
Dolores didn't have any representation, we advertised for about 3 months to finally get somebody from Dolores.
And Kirk has sold his motel, so I don't know if he wants to re-up or not.
Okay. So really, the only action that we could take today, because we don't have enough information, would be the 2 on the Fair Board, and we just as well wait next week. But we could definitely appoint, because we do have the applications, and then we can make the decision of moving forward with it. The Montezuma County Housing Authority, Darlene Floyd is still there. Orly Lucero is there. I have replaced Larry Don, and Chris Ludington is still there. Damon Johnston is no longer there, Kim, so that one you can update. It's Rebecca Fraley. And everybody's position there are current.
Do you know when they expire? Those dates are when the dates on the far right are expiration.
You know, I don't, but I can find out. We have a meeting Thursday night,
Okay.
the Housing Authority, so I can find that out.
Okay.
If you would just follow that up with an email for me so that I don't
Okay.
forget. The Southwest, the Extension Advisory Committee, we don't have any dates on any of these, and I think they're all expired.
They are.
So
That was-
recommendations, Ian?
That was one that she did respond to me on. Is it Emily, the new CSUA?
Yes.
That was one that she did respond to me on. So these, I believe, are still in there, but I don't have the dates for them. Or
We don't have a term,
yeah.
how long their terms are.
Because the list that we saw earlier, they were all expired like in 21,
Yes.
20. So we need
I'll
to
verify.
find that information out, verify it with Emily if they're still interested and if those need reappointed. The Trauma Advisory Council,
Those two still there.
those two guys are still there, but they're way expired. I'm sure
Yeah.
they're carrying that. I'll let you
I'll find out.
dive into that one and bring that one back to us for next week. The Workforce Advisory Board, I didn't even know this one existed, to be honest with you guys. And nothing has been appointed since 2017. Do we even need this? Is it statutory? I mean,
I don't know on that one. I don't think so, but
and obviously I don't think that people are even here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, the Water, Commissioner Copenhaver is there, on the Water Conservation District in their Southwest Roundtable,
That's what Randy Carver's been doing,
on the
round table.
Roundtable. So
Yeah.
that's Randy.
That's
Yes.
Randy. Randy's been doing that. And I don't know, they serve 3-year terms, I believe. It's still 3-year terms, so I can check with him and see where
Okay.
he's at with that, if he's still willing to
But
stay on there or
Yeah,
whatever.
you're right, Randy Carr, yeah, Randy.
Yeah,
So we can fix that.
yeah.
The Social Services, which we just used,
This is an
review panel.
updated list from Gina.
So we have just, October 2022. So I guess we need to reach out to Jeremy and Liz and
Yes.
see if they're still interested, and then we can reappoint them.
what has the process been for reaching out to these folks in the past? I mean, is this something that, I almost wonder if we ought to just put somebody in charge of heading it up. I mean,
These committees should be in charge of the term limits of their own people, shouldn't they?
well, I mean, I know like,
Right.
I mean, I know for some of these committees, like for instance, the Areola Cemetery, they reach out and they say, hey, we've got terms coming up, we need to get done. I mean, that kind of makes the most sense to do this. I mean, some of these, like this Workforce Advisory Board, I'm fairly certain that's not even a statutory creation. And so I don't know the history of how that was put in place, or why that was put in place, or who put that in place.
Well, it hasn't been looked at for at least 5 years,
Yeah.
and I didn't even know it existed. So I guess my question to you is, what's statutory? Because I know that the social services
I know that-
grievance, that's a review panel, that is statutory.
Yep, absolutely. That one is.
So we definitely have to,
The Water Conservation District, the Cemetery District. I mean, a lot of these are statutory, and then there's a few of these that aren't. But in terms of moving this forward, I mean, in some sense, it makes sense to put some onus on the individual boards to come forward and inform the county when these terms are expiring. It's a lot of boards, and it's a lot of members, and I don't know how we communicate that to the folks who are on these boards, but it certainly seems as if we need to do that.
well, I think all three commissioners are gonna take one. Commissioner Copenhaver is gonna make sure that Randy is still willing to serve for the Southwest Basin Roundtable. Commissioner Lindsay will take the Trauma Advisory Council. I'll take the Housing Authority. Ian, I'd rather you take the social services.
We can head that up. I mean, our office interacts with the Citizens Review Panel on a fairly regular basis and works with Gina, so we can get that one taken care of.
Yep. And then, Kim, do you have any delegation for the above, or can you take care of that?
So, one thing I wanted to mention to you gentlemen is at the beginning of every year, the special districts are required to send me a document that tells me if their boundaries are changed or a map or anything. Sometimes they include their board members, sometimes they do not. So maybe it would be diligent on my part to get in touch with all of them and ask them for an updated list so that we can start some sort of a file for somebody to keep track of. I mean, it is just something that it's kind of been, in the past, it's been the administrator, I just kept the list. The administrator's been the one that's been in contact with the actual special districts, but if we have one specific person to do that, I think it would be easier for us to keep track of these, just my opinion. But like all of the cemetery districts, they usually send me something every year, or every 2 years.
Because there are 2019 and then a resignation in 20, who knows when, for the Cortez Cemetery. That means there's only 2 that are currently on there.
Right. Some of them are very diligent in getting me that documentation and some are not. That brings up the Farview Cemetery. When I talked to Cammie, she was concerned that her list showed her and both Robert going out in the same year. But my list showed that it was the other 2 that were going out in the same year, and she was concerned about losing 2 board members in 1 year. But I'm sure that's because they have an alternate, but she wanted me to mention that to you, gentlemen.
Okay. And I can take care of the Fair Board too and get the updated dates or the updated names to you along with their terms. And then the rest between Kim and Travis, you guys can handle the cemetery district?
Yeah, I'll get with Cam and we'll split it up and see what we need to do to get
Can
those
you
addressed.
either send this to us or print this out for us?
This specific document?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Via email.
I think it was included in the packets.
It was.
Some of the dates, yeah, I think are the most specific.
So where would you folks like to serve?
Silence.
Okay, well, we'll leave this on our unfinished business. We'll do our homework and bring those forward next week, and then we can.
Yeah. That can of worms I opened, it's getting bigger.
Yeah, well, it needs to be addressed. It really should be addressed. And if that workforce board is not statutory and it doesn't exist, I don't know that we really need to have it. I think that's.
Yeah, I don't know how that was created or why. I can try to look back through minutes, but that's not a statutory thing.
Okay. All right. Okey-doke. Well, with that, we have come to our executive session for a conference with the attorney for pursuing legal advice. So Commissioner Lindsay, if you would.
I would move we go into executive session for a conference with the attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on a specific legal question under CRS 24-6-402, parentheses 4, parentheses B.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to move into executive session for a conference with the attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions under CRS section 24-6-402, parentheses 4, parentheses B. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And present in the executive session will be Kim Purcell, Commissioner Gerald Copenhafer, Commissioner James Candelaria, Commissioner Kent Lindsay, County Attorney Ian McLaren and County Administrator Travis Anderson. And this executive session will be to discuss potential litigation that the county may be facing.
Have a great day.
drew a heck of a crowd.
Okay, would you like to move us out of executive session?
I move we come out of executive session.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we exit executive session and come back in and finish our normal BOCC meeting. And we are to our reports. Ian, our county attorney, do you have anything for us this week?
You know, the biggest thing is continue to work with land use to get enforcement on those 3 properties that you guys identified. The letter was sent to the address on Road P. I'm in the process of drafting a complaint, and I should have that filed by the end of the week. So other than that, you know, it's been a busy week, just with internal stuff and whatnot, but no updates in terms of our cases.
Okay. I talked to James earlier and he didn't have anything to report. Travis?
Yeah, just a few things. Myself and Commissioner Lindsay was able to attend the grand opening of the museum. Pretty good turnout. I think there's probably 100 people or thereabouts, and I'll let you get into that because you were honorary speaker. So I also met with Drew, Mancos, the tribe. They are really going forth on trying to get this water from Lake Nighthorse, from Durango, and getting it piped over here. So we're in the infancy stages of that. I think they want to start looking at engineers and doing a feasibility study. I was able to complete a draft budget finance policy. I think I sent that to Ian. You're in the midst of looking at all that. So, but no rush on that. The last thing I would like to do is the register. And just being that social services provided their financials. So our general fund for September, general fund total was $950,576.48. Let me get it up on the screen here. Road and bridge fund, $351,955.12. Public health fund total, $214,471.64. Capital fund total, $74,099.09. Landfill fund total, $56,809.17. Check register total, $1,647,911.50. And then social services total, $1,689,827, with a grand total of $3,337,738.50.
Any questions?
No.
Okay.
I would so move we accept the financials for the month of September 2022 in the amount of $3,337,738.50.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the payables through September 30th, 2022 in the amount of $3,337,738.50. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Anything else?
That is it.
All right. I will go to my right today. Commissioner Lindsay.
Yes. As Travis mentioned, he and I attended the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Montezuma County Historical Society's museum opening over here. And I would recommend everybody go see what they've accomplished. The building is really nice. They're starting to fill in their exhibits, and they have a lot of merchandise in there. Some nice mugs, T-shirts. I'm not getting paid for commercial services, so. But it was nice. It was a good crowd, a lot of good speakers, and I want to thank the museums and the society for asking me to be there. I appreciate it. And I have city council tonight, and besides that, I've taken some messages and quite a few emails this week, so Other than that, that's about it.
Okay, Commissioner Copenhaver.
Our project up at Groundhog, as far as putting in the guard gate and stuff like that's coming along. We're getting pretty close to finished. We do have some issues with some of the electrical stuff that was sent with sensors. Other than that, we're hopefully getting that worked through and getting that all finished up here pretty quickly since it started snowing up in that country.
Yes, it did.
Hopefully we got it all the main part of it done, so should be finished up here pretty soon. Most of the other stuff that I had going on is just some few phone calls and not much going on last week. I've been busy working cattle and stuff, but everything's working fine, so.
Okay, good. We had a, Wednesday took off with the US DOT on the infrastructure law implementation. That's just a monthly check-in. My biggest meeting was Thursday, which was a WUI code board deep dive, and it was with this committee that's been put together basically by the governor. Commissioner Copenhaver was introduced to some of them in July when we went up to the Capitol to testify, but they're really pushing this code in the WUI, and a lot of what they're trying to do takes away local control because it's a statewide implementation of a code instead of leaving it to local authority, which is where we're trying to push back on and really keep that local, because what is good for Jefferson County is not good for Montezuma County or La Plata County or any other county. I did have the opportunity to talk to Commissioner Salka and Porter Norton, and they have the same concerns because they obviously geographically just across the hill have total different areas than we do. We all have junipers and pinions, and we have all the way to even probably some pines and aspen. Anyway, there's more to come with that. That's probably going to be a big conversation as we start our conferences with CCI as we get closer to the legislative session. I went and checked out the project up at Groundhog this weekend, and you can get stuck in the bottom of that lake. Just let everybody know that. I did not do that, but my son did. Anyway, it was a good weekend up there. We had our workshop yesterday, and some of the issues that we went over were the estimates for the detention center for the freezer and the cooler bids. Those are being vetted by Dustin Sattler, our county department head for maintenance, along with the sheriff, to look at the 3 bids that we had before they bring us recommendation for next week. But larger than that, we actually had our 4 experts, Mr. McLean, Mr. Roth, Mr. Simmons, and Mr. Spratlin here as we talked about the recording system for the E911 authority, which we'll be dealing with that this afternoon on the Eventide and the RevCord and the
Vesta system.
Vesta. I lost it. Anyway, that was it. Went to the Dolores Town Board meeting last night, sat through their workshop, and they only had 2 issues on their workshop. One was a discussion of the building that they're looking at purchasing for their new city building to house all of their personnel in, and they would vacate where they're at right now. That went into executive session later on. But the other one was the community center in Dolores is owned by basically and ran by a board, and they are just struggling. And not that they're going to close the doors tomorrow, but it just doesn't seem like they can function. So they were bringing a proposal to the town council last night to see if they would be interested in partnering with them somehow or taking the structure over so that they can run it. Don't know where that decision went, because once the executive session started, then I left.
You got thrown out.
Well, I got thrown out. Actually, I just left. I knew what was coming, so I didn't have to get thrown out. And other than that, that's all that I have to report.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn this October 24th meeting, 2022. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we will be reconvening at 1:30 this afternoon for the E911 board to discuss the rev cord and the eventide systems. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.